This is Matt for Into Boxing. Delighted to be joined by Frank Smith. Frank, we're here at Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, one of the biggest rematches in boxing. How nervous are you for Anthony Joshua going into this fight?
I'm confident. You know, I think Anthony Joshua has been focused on this moment for a long, long time now, and it's his chance come Saturday night to go back in there. Three-time heavyweight champion of the world, and I believe he can do it.
You mentioned to me off camera you don't think Anthony Joshua gets the credit he deserves for what he's achieved. He's come back from adversity before, he's shown his mental toughness. Why do you think it is that he doesn't get the credit of maybe a Tyson Fury or someone like that?
I don't know why, to be honest, but ultimately it doesn't matter because he comes through Saturday night, gets the win, then there can be no questions about people's belief of where he stands in the sport. So his focus is just on Saturday, get in there, get the win. He's done it once before against Andy Ruiz after losing in New York, and I believe he'll do it again here.
When you look at Oleksandr Usyk, there seems to be a difference in physical appearance. He seems to have bulked up, jacked up majorly. Do you think the physical size of Oleksandr Usyk plays into Joshua's hands a little bit more? Will it make him, do you think, a little bit less mobile?
You don't know, do you? We don't know until we see it on Saturday night. He's obviously taken his camp very seriously. He trained very hard. He would have left no stone unturned. But ultimately, you don't know until he gets in the ring, and we don't know what difference that's going to make until then. I know AJ's been solely focused on what he does to get the win, and I'm sure Usyk's done the same. But let's see.
Now, Tyson Fury vacated the Ring magazine belt. He's not vacated the WBC belt. I believe he's got till August the 26th or something like that, I've seen. How good is it, though, for that belt, a prestigious title like the Ring magazine belt, to be on the line for a fight of this magnitude?
Yeah, look, it's great. The Ring magazine belt means so much, and, to be on the line. I'm not sure what's going on with the WBC. Like you say, I think it's going to take a bit longer, but it's great that the belt's on the line for this fight. Number one, number two in the heavyweight division. The winner becomes the true number one and Ring champion, so let's see.
Right, give your honest opinion now. If you had to put your money on the table, what happens Saturday night? How does Anthony Joshua win? What do you think happens?
Anthony Joshua knocks out Oleksandr Usyk.
What round?
There's Alex Krassyuk. And Alex Krassyuk knocks me out. He's definitely going to win that fight.
If you want to knock him out now on camera, do it. Knock him out.
No. Like this. See, we get on really. I thought he was going to come and knock me out. I started shitting myself for a minute there.
I mean, it would have been good for views, but not great for you. Yeah. Let's move away from that for a bit. Other day we saw a historical press conference between Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. I know for you personally, this must be extremely difficult considering your personal, your personal life. Where do you sit on this? Is it hard for you? Obviously, you're with Conor, you talk to Conor, but obviously Chris is part of the family. How do you feel about that fight?
Look, ultimately, I've said it a few times. My job's to put on a good show and put on an event and actually get to the point where we make a fight happen. At that point, I step out of the way. I can't do the fighting for them. They're going to get in there. Conor Benn's going to do what he needs to do. Chris Eubank's going to do what he needs to do. I don't make any difference to that. Yeah. So ultimately, that's on them. In terms of my position,
Does it feel different?
Yeah, it's odd because normally you've got one. I suppose it's like, I've got a good relationship with Conor Benn outside of work as well. Yeah. So we don't just promote him. I get on with him. I've been on holiday with him. I spent time with him. Emily, my missus, gets on with Conor and his wife. So we're close, but at the same time, Chris is family. So it's I stay very neutral. Yeah. I'm going to sit there, be you'll see just a blank face like this. But I think it's going to be a great fight. And ultimately, the key point is I can't make any difference when they get in the ring.
Is this a win-win for Conor Benn in terms of, obviously, he wins the fight, fantastic, his star and stock continues to grow, but if he loses and puts up a good performance, he can go back down to 147 and campaign there and try and get a title shot. Do you feel like the pressure is all on Chris Eubank Jr. for this fight?
I think the pressure's on both of them, ultimately. It's a massive fight, it's a massive moment in both of their careers. I think it's the biggest fight either of them will ever be involved in, or subject to what, you can't tell the future, but to date now. I think, as you mentioned there, if Conor was to lose, he can go back to 147, and it doesn't affect him so much. I think, as Chris mentioned in the press conference, if he gets beat, his career's over, really, in a sense, like he can't go and challenge for a world title then. So, they both got pressure on them because of the sheer scale of the fight. But I think Conor's probably in a slightly better position in terms of he's earlier on in his career as well.
Yeah. Do you think if it wasn't sort of this time of year and this fight we talked about maybe beginning of the year, this would have sold out a Wembley? Because we're talking about numbers and pay-per-view numbers, and I've got a feeling this could maybe set some records, and it would be huge for DAZN as well, for the DAZN platform. Another time, yeah, do you think this sells out Wembley?
Yeah, 100%. This sells out Wembley, sells out any other stadiums. It was unfortunate at the time of the year it fell, October. The main point for us is the risk of the weather. Like, there's no point doing all this work and then it absolutely hammers down and there's wind, which can happen. We live in the UK. We're not in some luxurious destination of sun all year round. So
you seem to be at the minute, but I get your point.
But what's the point in taking a risk? Like, I know ultimately it would have been great to do it in the stadium, but let's do, if we do 3 or 4 of them, let's do them there.
Do you think potentially if it is a good enough fight and it's a competitive fight and it's not maybe a one-round knockout by either, do you think this will be a rematch and something that we continue to see this legacy grow of obviously the dads and it's passed on to the sons?
Yeah, I mean, there's no rematch in the deal. The deal's a straight-up fight between the two of them, but I think if it's a great fight, and I truly believe it will be a great fight, because you've got two people there who just they'll just go in there to war, basically. The two of them, and I think this can be built into maybe we see 3 or 4 of them.
Have you seen sort of a rise and a trajectory in a fighter like Conor Benn? Because after his first few fights, I think many people, Eddie himself admitted, probably wasn't sure he'd get to the level he's at now. He's on such a scale up. Have you ever seen that in a fighter where there's been such maybe a change in fortune, but his dedication to getting better? Have you seen that before, do you think?
It's hard to say. The key thing I think with Conor Benn, he's 25 years old now. Yeah. A lot of these amateurs coming through from especially the GB squad are turning pro at 25, 26 years old. So I've got the experience in the amateurs. Conor's had to do it all on the stage of cameras everywhere. He hasn't been able to do it in the background all quiet. Everything he's done, and everyone's had these moments like the GB amateurs when they're 19, 20 years old. They haven't got cameras everywhere, but they're allowed to grow and build themselves in a way that they can do in the background. Yeah. Conor's every moment of his life since he's been a pro has been filmed, and he can't get away from it. So it's difficult to. I think it's very hard to say, because had he gone a traditional route of 100 amateur fights, he would have had some bad amateur fights, might have lost some amateur fights, and he would have then turned pro in a position, not necessarily where he is now, but closer down, as he's worked his way through and learnt more in the sport. So, I think he's done tremendously well to get to where he is, and a lot of people doubted him. But I think it's just a case of he's done it in publicly rather than being able to build him. It's a bit like Campbell Hatton. Campbell Hatton's another one where every fight he's had, everyone's judged him. If he was just some kid that you didn't know his name, you would never have seen his first 8-10 fights, probably.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Look, we've gone about this sort of the wrong way, because I was meant to ask you about Tyson Fury's retirement at the end of the first set of questions, but I stumbled away with it. So we're going to do it now and finish on this. Tyson Fury announced on his 34th birthday that he's retired. We know that one belt's gone. We know he's got an extension for the other. I wonder why he's not, obviously, that belt's been taken off him if he's confirmed his retirement. What's your opinion, your honest opinion on this? Because we've seen him go from fight for free, half a billion, Chisora third fight, then retirement again, finally. Do you think he is? What do you make of it? Sum it up.
Who knows? Is my true review of the matter. You never. What's the point in second guessing? Like you say, 1 second he fights for free, the next second he gives it all to charity, the next second he wants $500 million, the next second he's fighting Thor, the next second he's fighting Adrian, the next second he's fighting Derek Chisora. What's the point? Let him do what he wants. He obviously enjoys it. He enjoys everyone talking about it. So let him do what he wants to do. I don't believe. Do I believe he's retired? I believe he's I don't think he wants to fight. I don't know. I don't think he wants to fight Oleksandr Usyk.
Why?
I don't know. I'll just get that vibe. I don't know. I'm not saying here's the reason why, but I just get that vibe. I think there's something in the Anthony Joshua fight in terms of deep within that he wants to do it, whereas he probably doesn't have that with Usyk. But look, let's wait and see. There's no point, like I say, second guessing it. Maybe on Sunday morning he goes, actually, I was just joking. Now I'm going to do the undisputed fight and I'm back. Who cares? Let's see.
Frank Smith, thanks for giving Into Boxing some of your time. I appreciate you getting around speaking to us, and we'll catch up later on in the week.